that happens between 28 and 32 weeks separately. So I thought I'd just combine it and do it as a joint video. So how are you all? How's it going? How's the bumps? How's the babies? I went in on my own this time and I had a scan, an antenatal check as well. I also had the routine blood tests that are taken at 28 weeks and then a brief meeting with the consultant. So you might see me just looking over every so often at the children because they're playing on our local fields whilst I talk, and scooting as well. I started to think about, you know, how I was feeling about seeing a consultant on my own, and which could quite possibly be the last time that I see a hospital consultant during this pregnancy, because myself and Mark had already agreed that we were not going to accept the offer of future growth scans. So they kind of persuade you and make you feel like, okay, well, if these growth scans are okay, then your birth choices will be accepted. Sonographers apparently tend to be more strict with the measurements, and midwives tend to be a bit more generous with the measurements. But then it depends on down to the actual sonographer and midwife as to how they measure. Growth scans in general as well are not 100% accurate. So, you know, there are risk factors that they have to tell you about. So, you know, you just accept them. You read the care plan. If you're in agreement with it, you sign and you go ahead with the home birth. The home birth team will still serve you. At that 28-week appointment, after my scan and everything, I went in to see the consultant. Now, the consultant was trying to insist that I have growth scans, and quietly confident, so, you know, I was just quiet and I listened. And then when she mentioned that I need to come in 2 weeks' time, then 4 weeks' time, then 2 weeks' time after that for growth scans, I said, thank you, but we've made an informed decision as a family. We will not be accepting any further growth scans because our children from 2012 up to this point have all increased in weight and we're quite happy with their growth. So can you see there is the first plot and there's the second. So the growth is beautiful. It's right where it needs to be. So we have no concerns or have any reason to be going in for any scans because the growth is plotting nicely. So I had my 34-week appointment today. We did bloods. So the last time I had my bloods done was my 28 week and my iron was at 103. They prefer your iron to be a bit higher for when you're about to give birth. And these are just my iron levels. If they do 2 blood tests, one's for your iron storage as well. So your iron storage is more to measure the long-term iron levels. And if your iron storage is low, it means that sometimes you were already anemic maybe before you became pregnant, or your anemia will probably carry on after your pregnancy. It's not guaranteed, but sometimes that's just how it is. So they like to measure both your iron storage levels and also your iron levels through your bloodstream. So I had those measured again today, so I should hear back in a week. I was prescribed the iron tablets the week after having my 28-week bloods, because I was told that it was at 103 and ideally they want it a little bit higher than that. So it's natural that your iron levels will drop. I mean, there's a lot going on in your body. You're growing a whole human. I'm on these ferrous sulfate tablets and 200 milligrams. I've been advised to take 1 every day. Mark bought me these and it's the Pregnacare Biobiotics gummies, and there's 17 vitamins and minerals in them, and they are 100% vegan, and they're blueberry and strawberry flavoured gummies. Now I've been taking these 2 every day, and I've found that I haven't felt as tired when I was taking them. So when I got prescribed these, I thought, do I really need them? Let's see. But then as time started going on and I felt, you know, more and more heavier in my pregnancy, I felt like I needed a bit more. So I didn't run for these straight away. I just thought, why don't I just have a little bit of everything to make sure that my levels are up? because it is for my own health and well-being, and I want to be able to be present with my family. I want to be able to do things with my family and not feel tired all the time. So I've started to take those twice a day. But I also, which I didn't bring with me actually, but I'll put a clip in now if I remember, I got a tree colour sea moss from Coco Rest. Check them out on Instagram and I think Facebook. And so sea moss has got 92 of the minerals that you need for your body. So it is like a super duper food. So I have been soaking that in fresh water, and then after soaked for a day or two, I've then been blending it with spirulina, mangoes, frozen bananas. Sometimes I use oat milk, sometimes coconut water to as the liquid to pump it up. And I've been taking that with spirulina, flax seeds, linseeds, things to help digest the extra vitamins and minerals that I'm taking. Basically things like the linseed and stuff really help with your digestive system and for you to be passing through your body the necessary nutrients and, you know, getting the motions moving, basically the bowel movements moving. So I felt like that's really helped, having the smoothies as well as another backup. So I have had tons of energy now. Don't get me wrong, I get tired, but it's usually when you're supposed to be tired at night. When you're supposed to be tired at night, so that's when I generally get tired now, and I might sometimes feel like I need a little snooze in the day, so I just put my feet up for a bit. But one of the best medicines for me is getting out in nature, being out here. I come out, go for a walk, take the children for a bike or scooter ride, and just get out, and the fresh air does me wonders, and it also helps me to sleep better at night too. So with a good night's sleep, you can always get ready for the next day, and then measure anything that you feel that is, if you still feel tired after a good night's sleep like that, you can generally start to feel that, okay, maybe my iron levels are a bit low. But if I'm not getting a good night's sleep, or I haven't been sleeping long enough, or haven't been eating the right foods throughout the day, then obviously I can't get a fair test on my body, basically. So having this being my 7th pregnancy now, I know that what I need to do to keep myself up, basically. One thing I will mention is that I haven't started my 2nd trimester yoga yet. I just haven't done it this time. We've been so busy, like, you know, we'll catch up in another video for that, as I said, but we've been so busy. I literally have not done any yoga, which is so weird for me in pregnancy, because usually I'm up 6 o'clock every morning doing some yoga. But I have been getting a lot of walks in. So, and I have been very active in the way of, you know, being involved in stuff. I think my last pregnancy as well was during lockdown. So I think everyone was a bit more disciplined with their exercise and yoga routines and stuff during lockdown, because you had very much little else to do. So it was kind of something that you just did naturally and it just worked. So, but now as things have opened back up, you're finding other things to do. And I'm not saying that I haven't had the exercise though. Very rarely do I sit down for very long. I should sit down more actually. I've been training myself to do that a bit more as well, it's just to sit down for a bit throughout the day. But I don't feel like I'm stiff. I don't feel like I'm slugging around. I'm starting to, baby's head down now, by the way, and so I'm starting to feel that pressure. But it's, you know, I just take my time, just walk slower. Mark's always telling me, how do you always get the pushchair? Because he keeps telling me to stop pushing the pushchair. Like when he's with me, make sure he pushes it. So I've been doing that as well, so that I am just waddling down the road. But I also had 2 stretch and sweeps when I was pregnant with Hezekiah, and it's because I just wanted to avoid this fear of going into being induced, because that's all they kept threatening with, you know, if you go too far over you're going to get induced, but you know, you can reject that too. So this time because every single child we try and use as like an experiment in our way, so that we are basically gathering research and knowledge so we can share this research and knowledge. So every child we do something a little bit different to see. Every child is different in their own right, but I mean, you know, the pregnancy and the birth thing, we try and do something a little bit different to see what helps and tweak certain things. So I felt that it's quite intrusive having a stretch and sweep, although I prefer them than being induced. Because that, I felt that was the only other option. I thought, well, I have to. But then now thinking about it, when you weigh it up, when I look back at it now to 2020, and I know that intense yoga session that I did the night before having Hezekiah brought on labour that night. Definitely did. I felt something after that session. It really opened me up, it really softened me. I might create the birth plan and do that as a separate video, because that is so important. Because when you're in the midst of, you know, giving birth, going through labour, you don't want to be informing any professionals that are around you that may not know you, because your home birth team midwife that you've been assigned to may not be on duty or maybe on leave when you're having the baby. So although they might know your wishes, another team might not. So, you know, and if for any reason you have to be transferred into hospital, your birth plan is still very relevant. You can still make it a beautiful birth no matter where you are. However, our choice is home birth, and that's what we're aiming for, that's what we're sticking to, that's what we're manifesting. The next appointment will be my 36-week appointment, which will be in 2 weeks' time. And then after that, the 38-week appointment. In between that time as well, which we'll have another video about, we'll show you how we prepare in terms of like the birth stuff that we have in our birth centre. Our birth centre, the Thankfullytrue birth centre. We will have everything that we are going to use in labour, we'll have ready, and we'll do a video about that too. So for any prospective home birthing families, you can see it and replicate if you want to, or you can get a few ideas or advise us and add, so that we can add things to our list as well. So I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. I wonder how many of you are watching that have already subscribed. It's not just about the pregnancy journey, is it? We'll then need to move on to the other part of the journey, don't we? We need to move on to after birth, the 4th trimester as they call it, postpartum, post-delivery. I've finished. It's a wrap. Thank you guys. And thank you, Kenzi, because I know you're very tired. Thank you, son. You're welcome. Ooh, gosh, I nearly fell on you then. Thank you, Hezekiah, for staying asleep. Thanks, guys. Are you ready to scoot back now? What have you made? Come on, Kenzi. I want no natural reaction. Girl or boy?
Girl.
Girl or boy?
Boy.
Girl or boy?
Yeah.
Girl or boy? Girl. Girl or boy? Sleep. What have you done? What have you been doing?
Planting flowers and something like
Okay, cool. And thank you for being so patient whilst I was doing the video.
You're welcome. Right, so let's go back.
I've got your jacket, Terrell. Shall we carry on now with the scooter ride?
Yeah.
So you fit these videos in where we can, guys, and make sure you are subscribed and you like the video, because that helps. I hope this has come out alright. Take care. Bye for now.
It always seemed it's always been that active, hasn't it? Like, always.